until bang, like a loud knock at the door, and then another, more aggressive, bang, bang. We shoot out of bed, like, what is that? The knocks just grow in intensity. We're confused, right? Because this isn't our house. Like, we don't know these people. If they're not answering the door, something really bad must be on the other side. We're just getting more and more terrified, so we make the best decision we can think of at the time, which is to call the cops, go out into the fire escape, wait for them in 20-degree weather in nothing but our pajamas. And as I'm sitting there in the dark, like terrified, I realize just how far away from home I really am. You know, this is New York City. Some people do go this way. So the year is 2014, and I'm a senior in college in Oberlin, Ohio, which also happens to be my hometown. While the rest of my friends were fully out of the nest, making decisions with reckless abandon, my dorm room was a 5-minute walk from the house that I grew up in. You see, going to Oberlin made a lot of sense for the education, and free tuition didn't hurt either, but the trade-off was that I was stuck in this perpetual state of arrested development. Like I was living in this weird dissonance of having college-age freedom with hometown familiarity. And to make it worse, my parents were professors at Oberlin. Yeah. So it wasn't uncommon to see them in between classes in the hallway, to feel the very heavy gaze of my mom like a red laser on my forehead as I'd be talking to a boy, or to see my parents' car pull up slowly as I'd be walking down the street with my friends and have embarrassing things thrown my way, like, "Did you eat today? That coat is too thin, you'll freeze. Why are you outside right now? Why aren't you studying?" I tried desperately to solidify my independence at this point, and nothing seemed to be working. And it wasn't entirely all my parents' fault either. When I was in school, Oberlin had one bar in the entire town called the Fev. And while the rest of my friends were able to walk in there with their fake IDs, those bartenders were all people I'd known since I was a kid. When I was a freshman at like 19, I decided to take a risk. I pushed my shoulders back, chin up, just like hoping and praying that maybe somebody would do me a solid. But before I could even get the words out to order a drink, Dave said nothing, pointed at the door, and just shook his head, disappointed. I just could not break free, but this New Year's Eve was gonna be different because I was going clubbing in New York City with my best friends, like a grown-up, no parents in sight. I imagined myself like a cool half-Asian Carrie Bradshaw, just like hair, makeup perfect in this effortlessly chic outfit, which in 2014 meant a peplum dress, knee-high boots, heavy side part of the hair. I fantasized about having, the power of anonymity, like being able to walk into a bar and no one having any idea who I was, no one stopping me. And so this New Year's Eve was the night that was finally going to happen. So the plan was simple. We were gonna rent an Airbnb, we were gonna pregame there, go to the club, and I would metamorphosize like a glittery butterfly into the night. And when the night does roll around, our group gathers in this like cramped 2-bedroom apartment, laughing, listening to music, having fun. Or at least I heard that it was a lot of fun, but I wouldn't know because I wasn't there. Yeah, because as this is all happening, I am stuck across the river, and what was communicated to me was a mandatory family dinner in New Jersey. And I am pissed because here I am on the cusp of the greatest night of my life, and my family has found another way to ruin it. Sitting at dinner, I can literally see the city, like glistening across the water, beckoning to me, close enough to be real, far enough away to just be cruel. And I'm watching the clock and I'm looking at the city. It's getting later. I'm getting so anxious, and I'm asking myself these questions like, am I gonna escape? Like, am I gonna be able to make it there on time? Like, am I gonna have enough time to change? It was like I was Cinderella, but backwards, trying to get to the ball before midnight instead of escaping from it. So once I do get to that apartment, I burst in there. I throw on my outfit with the kind of speed you only achieve under extreme duress. I pour myself 3 heavy shots of Fireball, and off we went to New York City's glamorous, prestigious 18 and over club, Webster Hall. And once we get there, it's like all my dreams have come true. It's like packed, it's loud, there are these cool like flashing lights everywhere. I go to the bar, I order a drink with ease, and I sip it in glamorous cosmopolitan sophistication through a plastic cup and straw. And I'm just so excited because here I am doing the thing, right? Like I'm in New York City, it's New Year's Eve, I'm with my friends, like what could be better than this? And as the night keeps going, I keep sipping and sipping and sipping and sipping until suddenly this like massive heat wave comes over me. My face gets hot like a furnace. My heart is beating at like 1,000,000 miles a minute. It's a little hard to breathe, but that's normal, right? Like, that's just ambiance. And somehow, despite this, I keep dancing until suddenly the lights just go out. Everything is dark. It's like someone just unplugged me. And it's through the darkness that I hear like a chorus of confused, drunk angels saying things like, "Oh my God, how did that just happen?" When I do manage to open my eyes, I see a stranger's face just like inches from mine, like screaming over the music, like, "Hey, are you okay?" And it's then that I look down and I'm on the ground of that like wet, sticky dance club, like, cute dress and everything. And it's in this moment, like a fairy godmother, but wearing a glittery miniskirt and heels, my best friend Laura takes me by the hand and pulls me out of there. That was at 11:40. By 11:50, we were back in there dancing like nothing had even happened. Fainting it all, I successfully made it to midnight, like the cool girl I was. We continued dancing, having fun, everyone just so relieved I hadn't like died that night on the dance floor. And I was proud, like I had overcome the adversity of being incredibly dehydrated and a lightweight. And here I was, like I had this fun story to tell. It was like the universe had given me a gift, the gift that I had always wanted. So when the night ends, Laura and I stumble back to the apartment, notice some food on the counter, which must have belonged to our Airbnb hosts who are asleep in the next room. We go to sleep, the world is as it should be. Until, bang, like a loud knock at the door, and then another, more aggressive, bang, bang. We shoot out of bed, like, what is that? The knocks just grow in intensity. We're confused, right? Because this isn't our house. Like, we don't know these people. If they're not answering the door, something really bad must be on the other side. We're just getting more and more terrified, so we make the best decision we can think of at the time, which is to call the cops, go out into the fire escape, wait for them in 20-degree weather in nothing but our pajamas. And as I'm sitting there in the dark, like terrified, I realize just how far away from home I really am. This is New York City. Some people do go this way. I had my one beautiful epic night of freedom, all for it to just come to this dramatic close. And we sit for what feels like an eternity until a light shines on us from above. It's the NYPD. They escort us down the fire escape, through the window, into the living room, and tell us, the victims, to open the door. Like, excuse me, sir? Like, isn't that why we called you? Like, you have the guns, we have pajamas. But nevertheless, we agree, and I watch Laura go to the door. She turns the knob, I hold my breath, and I hear, "Why didn't you open the door?" And it was our Airbnb hosts. Behind them, a sea of about 20 NYPD officers filling the entire hallway. Turns out they were locked out, and they just wanted to get back inside. So we left very early that day, heads bowed in shame, but on January 1st, 2015, I couldn't stop smiling because, yes, I was late to the party, yes, I fainted in the club, yes, we called the cops on 2 innocent people, but I had spread my wings and I had flown high, even if that flight was shaky. Thank you.